Hello, lovely people. This is Charu Mehrotra, founder of online magazine womenlines.com, present on 8 social media platforms and listed in top 50 women's online magazines to follow in 2021. Yes, friends, Women Lines is all about excellence, excellence in health, excellence in leadership, and excellence in business. We are bringing that content from across the globe, from experts across the globe, which can help you to be a better version of yourself. So, if you have not subscribed yet to the complimentary subscription of Women Lines, visit www.womenlines.com and subscribe it. And do follow us on social media platforms so that you can get and receive those powerful tips related to health, related to business, and related to leadership, which can help you to be a better version of yourself. So, yes, friends, today I am looking forward to share my learning with you. I always love to share whatever new I have learned with my audience. And as I am an avid reader, and there is so much to learn, I always say. And what I believe is knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is superpower. So, today I have read some key points from this article, which is termed as Why Emotionally Intelligent People Still Follow Colin Powers' 13 Rules for Leaders. Yes, friend, Colin Powers passed away last week, and we all know that he was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and eventually Secretary for State during President George W. Bush first term. So we know that how powerful he was, how impactful he was as a leader. And here are those 13 rules for effective leadership, which the writer has shared. The writer is Bill Murphy, and he has shared on his website, www.billmurphy3r.com. And I would love to share those points with you, which is making so much sense. And I think it can help you also. So, rule number one, it ain't as bad as you think. It will look better in morning. Bill Murphy says that a wonderful rule to start with, since it encourages you to strip anxiety and fear from your decision making. Even if a situation you have to deal with really does turn out to be bad, it's best not to let fear of the facts lead to inaction before you even get started. Wow, what a powerful rule. Rule number two, get mad and then get over it. Anger is part of the normal range of human emotions. Better to feel it, acknowledge it, and let it go before it negatively affects your decision making. Impactful, isn't it? Rule number three, don't become so attached to an argument that if it fails, your ego goes with it. This rule is important to keep in mind for yourself. But it's also important to remember that it works for others too. In short, emotionally intelligent people will work to find ways for other people to save face during disputes because that can make it a lot easier for them to agree with you when appropriate. Wow. Rule number four, it can be done. There is a trap people fall into, allowing negative emotions to lead them to a negative conclusion and then crafting arguments to face up that conclusion. Instead, reverse those forces. As Powell wrote, always start out believing you can get it done until facts and analysis pile up against it. Have a positive and enthusiastic approach. Rule number five, be careful what you choose. You may get it. Here is another military saying you probably heard if you served during past 30 years. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. In short, if you take the time to think things through methodologically, you make fewer mistakes in the long run and wind up closer to your ultimate goals. Nothing original in this one. Powell later wrote, don't rush into things. Rule number six, don't let adverse facts stand in the way of a good decision. This rule is about realizing that almost all important decisions have to be made without complete information. If you wait until there is a complete information, you will likely wait until it's too late to decide. Recognizing your humanity and that you will make some mistakes paradoxically can make this uncertainty more tolerable and allow you to trust your informed instincts. Rule number 7, you can't make someone else's decision. I think it's fairly easy to imagine this rule coming into play during negative circumstances, as when you are being pressured to do something you don't think is right. The harder test and the time to remember this is when arguably positive things are being dangled in front of you, but they don't align with your goals and values. Powell talks about how after he was served as Secretary of State, he was inundated with lucrative offers to serve on corporate boards and in finance, but ultimately turned them down. They were trying hard to make a choice for me, but I held out for my own choice. Rule number 8, check small things. Emotionally intelligent people adopt this practice for a very simple reason: to avoid letting their optimism, excitement, or sheer busyness lead them to assume things are working out. Rule number 9, share credit. There are two reasons to follow this rule. First, to manage your ego, and second, to keep yourself attuned to the fact that people are emotional beings. And it's natural, if sometimes counterproductive, for them, like you, to be motivated by emotional needs as much as any other category of need. As Powell wrote, people need recognition and a sense of worth as much as they need food and water. Point to be noted. Rule number 10, remain calm and be kind. Anxiety breeds anxiety. Calm begets calm. This is also a good time to point out one of the key insights into emotional intelligence. It's that while treating people well, developing empathy, and being kind to others are wonderful byproducts of emotional intelligence, the overall utility is more goal oriented, to be aware of and leverage emotions so as to accomplish what needs to be done. Rule number 11, have a vision. Why is this so important? For your own sanity and effectiveness, of course, but also because people have deeply felt emotional needs for purpose. If you are a leader, part of your job is to articulate a vision that is worthy of their efforts. Rule number 12, don't take counsel of your fears or naysayers. Fear is natural and sometimes useful, but the point here is to acknowledge the fear and then try to remove the emotion from decision making. Same thing with the people who say you can't accomplish what you want to accomplish. If they have valid points, consider them, but don't let their volume unduly influence you. And rule number 13, perpetual optimism is a force multiplier. Finally, this is the rule that I think gets repeated most often in military circles. It's also the most mythical in terms of emotional intelligence. In short, this isn't just about believing that things can be done. It's also about proclaiming that optimism to the people you lead in both your words and actions. Your optimism can become contagious, thus leading others to believe that things can be done, or the problem isn't surmountable, or that fears need not to be counseled. There's a bonus rule also. The rules conflict. That's a good thing. Powell's legacy was legitimate, but it was complicated by his 2003 presentation to the United Nations in support of the invasion of Iraq. In fact, as I read over this list, as the author says, I think it seems that he followed Rule 13 about perpetual optimism at that time to the detriment of Rules 5, 7, 8 about being methodical, not allowing yourself to be pressured into decisions, and checking small things. Still, sometimes the most useful rules are the ones that conflict and force you to make difficult decisions. All the more reason to work to improve your emotional intelligence and to think about the legacy you will leave. For hundreds of thousands of soldiers and sailors, to say nothing of millions of others who read and hear these rules, the simple list will be a big part of purpose. Amazing points, I must say, and so much to learn. I love the rule of optimism and to remain calm and be kind. I think all these rules are must to follow and should be shared further so that we can have more emotional, intelligent people around us. So yes, friends, this was for today. Keep watching Women Lines, keep reading Women Lines, keep sharing Women Lines with your network so that we can make the world a better place to live. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care and stay safe. Goodbye.